All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to a holiday stream that we have here for you all. This is going to be one of those that it's a holiday. It's going to be a special type of stream here. We're going to try to do this maybe every Monday if everyone likes it, or every Sunday, since it's kind of like it is the weekend still. We did have a 3-day weekend. We are going to do this, I believe, like I said, every Sunday. So let's get into this. I'm going to do a weekly analysis of what I think the market's going to do. Then I will get into some Q&As along the way. I'm going to take a look at the futures charts. I'm going to take a look at some hot industries that I'm looking at for this week. It is going to be the week of February 15th until the 20th or the 19th, however we want to look at it. Week 7 of 2021. This will be an hour-long stream, and we'll get into this here. So it's good to see everyone here. Like I said, for everyone that is just joining, this is going to be weekly analysis I'm going to do first. Then for the second half, or like the last quarter of it, we will do some Q&A, look at some user stocks that you guys want me to look at, and go from there. So overall, this is what we have. ES1 is what this is called. It's the S&P 500 mini futures for you guys who do not know what futures are, where to look them up. This is on TradingView. We have TradingView pulled up here. Overall, we are in a bullish uptrend for this market this week. If we take a look back, end of January, we saw a dip down to this 368 level, 368, 367. We dipped, made a nice V-shaped recovery as we see here. Now we're just still in this upper channel here. So as we can see, held support very well, held these bands very well, got good volume. Now futures opened up all-time highs. We had this beautiful move up here. This is called a gap up here on the futures. Overall, we see this move. This is a great volume spike that we had on February 12th. Now we're moving up February 14th, February 15th. Futures are looking good on the hourly. We can take a look back on this 15-minute. They are dipping a little bit on the 15. But as we can see here, holding line support very well. This is going to be our first test. We can see an easy dip back down, which we might tomorrow morning. We don't know yet. We'll have to see how everything opens. Usually when we have these gaps up like this, we do tend to move back down a bit. Overall, can everybody hear me? Everything good on the voice? Are we all good to go there? I think we are. Just want to get some thumbs up in the chat. We have 116 viewers on this, so that's great to see. Perfect. Yeah, this is what we have for SPY right now. So if you guys, this is a great way to tell the market for the next few days coming up. Overall, it's going to be hard to tell, right? We got the big gap up. Let's see if this can hold. It needs to hold this level that it's at. We'll put in some supports here. We have support at 3943 right here at this bottom band right here. We do have resistance, as we can see here, been rejected a few times at 395, which is expected, right? Everything moves in 5s to 10s, so that's great. Overall, I think SPY is going to continue to consolidate here. We are in the demand zone, okay? So right now, this is a demand zone because we have formed a square here. This is a nice little box of demand. Let's see if we can continue to hold this. We're looking at this here. If we can't hold this, again, we see this area down here where we gapped up. We can see a gap down. I don't think we will, but let's keep this up for tomorrow morning and see where this goes. So overview of SPY. This is ES1 for everybody who was wondering. We had a nice move up. Let's see this hold. With this nice move up, we should see the overall market move up, as well as just like EVs, tech, cannabis, everything should move up with this. So we're going to take a look what I think we have for a market analysis this week and go from there. So the first thing I want to look at is going to be the EV sector. So we're just going to start off with Tesla, right? Tesla's the big EV market maker here. The 4 hourly, we are in this box again, right? We're in this demand zone. So what Tesla's been doing, we had this first move up, major move up back in end of December, moved, now we're just bouncing, right? There's no clear-cut pattern here. We do have somewhat of an inverted head and shoulders that did not hold, which is fine. Sometimes they hold, sometimes they don't. But we have held this support area twice down here at this 800, 790, 780 level, okay? So buyers step in. As you can see, big bullish hammer here. Buyers have stepped in at these supports. Now, what do we want to see from this move up? We want to see Tesla move this week. Tesla moving this week will make this to where we can get back up into this 840 level. We get back up into this 840 level. We do see this 840 turn into 880. Above 880, we press 900. So that's what we'd like to see. We'd like to see Tesla get back up into this box. Then we would love to see it get into this area, right? We want to take these old resistances, bust through them, make them new support. So we got to bust through 848. I have this listed out in my watch list. If you guys are not subscribed to VIP or NVP, please do so. You get plenty of watch lists. You get the VIP watch list. You get ModMark in the MVP. You get Apex. You get Glad. You get Kindred. You get Ava on the option side of things. You get Ninja. Then on the trader side of things, you get Elite. You get Josh. You get the Gurus. You get everybody. You get Advanced. So make sure to drop that VIP, MVP. I will plug that website in the chat here soon. But overall, this is what I see from Tesla, okay? I see us moving up into this blue box. Above the support, 848, we see 880. And then above 880, we see 900. So this is where I'd love to see Tesla. I do not think we will dip lower as EV is getting hot again. We had some massive sell volume come in here to buy this dip back up to the 799, 800 level. So I think we see a curl here and a push back up. So we're going to take a look next at NIO, okay? NIO is going to be the next EV that I see moving here. As you can see, I chart a lot of NIO. This is just what I do. I love to chart NIO. It's a fun one to play. So we're just going to remove the drawings here. Overall, I think we do look like we are in this cup and handle that we have formed. As you can see, we made two highs. We have our lows that came in, scooped up. This is what you love to see in a cup and handle, okay? Cup and handle, you have this down channel forming. This is what I had on here before I erased it. You love to see this downward handle, okay? We got a nice little coffee cup. Break out of this coffee cup coming soon. We went overbought. Now we're coming back. We're right at even. NIO loves to hold this even level. We can see it dip, right? We can see it come back down to 59. That is where immediate support's going to be. So immediate support's 59. Above 59, we see it move, okay? So we're holding right at 60. I would love to see it break through 62.20 up in here, okay? This is where we want to see it next. I want to see NIO here in the 62 area. I want to see it bounce and then make a move, okay? Make a move, make 62 support, and then move higher. Then break 64, come back down, make support, and then move higher, okay? This is what I'd love to see from NIO in the next month, maybe by the end of the month, 2 months, however long it takes. But this is what I'd like to see, a rough estimate of it. This is another one I'm watching this week for contracts up. We do have contracts open right now on NIO, but I believe with Tesla, EV, the whole market itself moving up, as well as just the long-term benefits of EV, I do think we see NIO easy pushing 70 here very, very soon, going back up to that 67 level as we can see. Once we break there, it's off to the races. So that's what I have for NIO. For everybody that is just now joining this, I am giving a market analysis first, then we will get into Q&As for the second half of this and go from there. So we have NIO. Now we're going to take a look at Fisker here, okay? Everybody has a love-hate relationship with Fisker that I know. We're gonna take a look at the 15-minute here, okay? So Fisker on February 11th started making moves, then February 12th consolidated, and then broke out. I mean, it was a beautiful consolidation breakout. Now we're consolidating again. Now we have support here at this 18.5 level. We're back over this mid-bull band. Volume has increased, right? We see a nice volume spike. We see the decrease, volume spike. After hours, this held. This is what you love to see in after hours. You need these after hour holds, and Fisker did just that. On its previous breakouts, it did not hold supports, and that's why we saw it trend back down. But as of right now, Fisker looks amazing for a move next week. I think, with these analysis, Fisker's very undervalued. Over the next year or two, Fisker will have to increase their market cap, and they will. By 2022, I see Fisker being an amazing stock. I think it's also going to be a great company, especially in the EV market. But enough of that. Let's take a look at this technical breakout. So we have our flagpole pattern here, as we can see. broke out, went back down, made support, went up, made a resistance. Now we have these resistances and supports. Finally held this mid band here. Now we're pushing on volume. RSI has enough room to move. We're only at 60. This can push easy back up into the 80s. If it does, we see a break over 20 or this 19.9 level. Break over 19.9. We can go back to previous highs. If we just take a zoom out here, we'll just take a zoom out to previous highs back here at the 23 area, if we might. Yeah, 22, 23, somewhere in there. So we can easily see that's where we're heading. This is just the beginning, right? Analysis upgrade, major volume spike, earnings coming up. Let's see where this takes us. So Fisker is going to be the next one coming up soon. They have earnings coming up, like I just said. This could be a catalyst before then. Who knows? Now that the industry is starting to notice Fisker, let's see where this goes, right? Fisker could make a NEO type move, which I expect it to do, where NEO went from 17 to 60, it seemed overnight, which it wasn't overnight, but you know what I'm saying there. Overall, Fisker is a great one to look at. Next up is going to be Lee. This is kind of a lagger here. This is one that stays quiet, but it makes moves, right? So what we saw in NEO, we have this same dip here, except Lee held, whereas NEO dipped down. So we're looking at this on the 4-hourly from the beginning of February until mid-February. And overall, we can take a zoom back on this main big one here, right? Overall, looking great. Looking beautiful for a breakout. Once it breaks out, I expect it to move up, consolidate back down, and then make its initial, final push back up to where it maintains these 37 and then hopefully 40 plus supports. And from there, that's what we see. But as you can see here, guys, we are picking up an EV trend in this market. EVs, cannabis, China stocks, tech, everything seems to be a buy right now, even with the market's high. I'm buying every dip. I'm buying every dip in my long term, buying every dip within options and shares and as much as I can, because there's never a perfect time to get into it. So Lee looking good for a breakout here very soon, if not this week. The next EV that I would like to take a look at is going to be XPEV. And then this will be the final EV before next week, or before we move on here and see what we have to entail. So if we just remove our drawings here, we can see that XPEV is kind of doing the same thing as Lee, right? We had the initial move up. We're going to have this move back down again, forming somewhat of a wedge, but also a triangle here. So we can take this triangle, move her on down, and this is what we have, okay? Forming another one here. So this is going to be another beautiful breakout, consolidating. Once it gets back over the $50 level, we can easily see it push back up to 58, possibly even 60. And then above then, I mean, Lee hit 77, 78 before. So don't be sleeping on these ones, guys. These are good ones to keep in your portfolio, keep in your watch list. Make sure that you are seeing everything that you need to be seeing. Overall, EV is going to be a hot one for the market this week, along with SPY moving up. So this is the first industry I wanted to take a look at. Next up, we are going to take a look at cannabis. So we're going to go take a look at KERN first, because this is the least expensive of them all. And then from there we'll move on to a little bit more expensive ones with better contracts on them. So as we can see, KERN made its initial move up back mid-January, consolidated back down. Now we made a move back up to 10, okay? We see a 38%, almost a 50% retracement on KERN here at its lows. It did dip back down to 728 from highs of 1042, 1040 area. So cannabis is going to be hot. Cannabis is a hot sector right now. I think this is just a little bit of a breather before its next move up. As we can see, it does have a little bit more room to move down, but overall, this is the dip and rip strategy that I like to play, okay? And I will show you what I mean by the dip and rip for people who do not know what I'm about here. I love to buy here, sell here. Dip and rip. You buy here in the demand zone. You sell at the supply zone, right? This is the dip and rip. So this can either trend back down to the $7 level, or we can see it move back up again. But this is what I see for KERN. It's a beautiful setup. over 10, 11 bucks. You see this easy move. We can take a look at here on the monthly. This thing IPO'd back in the 70s, I believe. May 19th it IPO'd in $72. It opened at 10, went to a high of 72, closed at 28. So this thing can easily move, right? Easily move higher, especially on high volume, as we can see here these past couple of months. So don't be shy on this one. This one can easily surprise most of us. So that's the first one there. Hey, we got a subscriber. That's beautiful. I will get to comments here. Don't worry about it. I will get here in the next half an hour, 15 minutes, somewhere in there. Once we give the overview of the market, what I'm looking at this week, then I will get into the questions. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to drop that follow, drop that subscribe button. We're trying to get as much growth as we can here, and if you appreciate these, it's always great to see that support. So the next one I'd like to take a look at is going to be TLRY. TLRY is one of these. It's the same thing, right? IPO'd, back September 2018. I do think they had a reverse split in here. I don't know if that's true or not. Overall, TLRY is another one that once it breaks, it can break high, right? As we see here, we have earnings coming up on the 17th. This will be a good indicator. Are we going to see this continue to push higher, or are we going to see it pull back? But as you can see, cannabis, EV, everything is starting to move this week. So this is a great one to get into, in my opinion. We're back into buying some calls here. We played puts on the way down. Now I think it's time to play some calls again. We take a look at the 15-minute. We are seeing everything kind of simmer down. Overall, taking support here. Major fall down, taking support right at this $29, $28 level. I want to see this volume curl. We get a volume curl. We can see a gap fill over 35 to at least 40. Above 40, it doesn't stop back until it's at the 70s. So hopefully this isn't one of those pump and dumps, but I think cannabis is going to get hot again. Hot again means that we can see this easily move. Hello, Bilbo. Love to have you in this stream, buddy. Thank you for your support here. But TLRY is another one that we can see move. We're going to move on to Aurora Cannabis next. This will be the last cannabis one we look at before tech sector. Same thing here, right? See this major move up to 22 this last week. Now we're back down again. It had its earnings. It was 462% surprise, not great. We did move back down to this $12 level. Once cannabis gets hot again, though, be ready. That's all I have to say. This can move. So legalization is going to be the big catalyst here that we have in America. Oh, man, thank you, Bilbo. Cheered 200% is what it says, 200 times. So thank you, buddy. Overall, we do see cannabis moving in the future. Could be months, could be weeks, who knows? But I'm adding cannabis because it's inevitable in America that it will be legalized. More than likely here soon, or decriminalized. It'll get passed, one or the other. So we will see these moves. Next up, we are going to look at tech. So that's going to be Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, AMD. So that's what we're going to hit up next. And then I will get into the user requested, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to back out of this. We're going to look at the hourly. We're going to remove our drawings here, and we're just going to keep it fresh up in here. So we're going to look at Apple first for tech. We're even going to look at the 4-hour. So Apple's looking like a mover, right? The dip and rip method. This is what I preach. So we are holding a trend line here, and we have upper resistance right here. So we have this. This is what we like to see, right? This is everything that we like to see. So back in November, we had a dip, bought here. Then you don't have to sell until it hits top trend line, right? Dip and rip. Then we dipped again. Back and middle to end of January, as we see here. Then we move back up, and we are going to see, that's where you sell. Demand zone, supply zone. Now we're dipping again. We're dipping back to trend line. What do we have here? Do we have the same type of pattern forming? I think we do. I think we see a breakout. We are in a downward channel on Apple right now, which is to be expected. Apple runs in cycles. So we have this downward channel. It's looking to break out. Once we close over this on the 4-hourly, watch out. Apple will move. You know, Apple isn't going anywhere. Apple isn't crashing. Don't have to worry about that. They are getting into the EV sector. I know it's a lot of rumors right now, but above 138 here, guys, above 138, we will see 140s, 145, and then hopefully by this upper trend line, end of February, we see 150s. And then that's where you sell, and then you buy back in, back at the low 140s. It is the dip and rip. Hope have 219, 135, and 160s. Hey, I'm hoping this week is a big week for Apple. With SPY moving up, Bilbo, you never know, buddy. SPY, you know, moved up about 0.5% overnight. So let's hopefully that holds again into tomorrow morning. What are the settings you should have for a day trading scanner? I can show you that. Just send me a DM in the Discord, and I can help you get that set up. I won't do that on this stream, but I can help you personally on that one. So next up we have Microsoft. This is on my watch list this week. Microsoft looking beautiful for a move up here, okay? So right now we are in this upward channel. We are forming an upward wedge, as I like to say here. This is a technical breakout. Above here, we easily see 247, and then I think we see 250 before it gets rejected back down. Microsoft was a lagger for a few months, okay? This one lagged in this area from August until end of January. So this is much needed for a move up. Even on the 4-hourly, we are not overbought yet. And overall, we're looking good. We can easily see this push. I say 250 is going to be first PT for Microsoft. Might even see that tomorrow or Tuesday if SPY continues to hold here. Overall, Microsoft, Apple, all of these tech sectors are getting hot again. Same with EV. So now we're going to go take a look at NVIDIA and then AMD. And then I will answer your questions and we will get going from there. So NVIDIA, we're going to remove our drawings again. Just start fresh. NVIDIA made some nice moves up this last couple of weeks, right? So it was in the supply and demand zone. Again, we had this box here. This is why I always preach technical analysis, guys. If you don't know how to do it, that is okay. We do have people that can help you with it if you would like. We were in this zone, okay? We were in this zone, right? So we had the demand was down here, the supply was up here, and it would just dip back and up, and then we consolidated. From end of November until beginning of February, this beast consolidated. Now we broke out with good volume. Now we're having a little bit of retracement before earnings. Earnings could send this one back up into the 600s, or it could tank it. What I'm thinking we're going to see from NVIDIA here, we're going to push maybe 620, 650 this week, and then earnings are going to send this back down to the 600, and that's going to be new support. I could be 100% wrong here. That is just my personal guess. I think we see a curl off of NVIDIA and then move up. So that's what I'm thinking we're seeing here. Hello, everybody. Hello, chat. We got 120 viewers here on this Monday night before market opens, so thank you guys for tuning in. This will be posted on our YouTube, so make sure to check that out afterwards. We will have a full recap here, so that's great. Great for you guys to have. So this is what I see for NVIDIA. Next, we're going to move up to AMD, and then we'll get going here. So AMD, we're going to remove our drawings yet again. Chart these ones a lot, but it held this lower band here, okay? This is what we love to see. NVIDIA or AMD after earnings, they beat by 200%. The reason why AMD dropped so heavy was because they need to be more innovative. They blasted their sales in 2020, which was great to see, but investors are a little weary. Can they match that in 2021? So we have made a very nice recovery. We are in an upward channel here. As you can see, love this type of pattern. Another dip and rip strategy. We bought here. We're still holding 93 above this 95, 96 level, guys. We see 98. That is what we're seeing next, okay? So if the SPY can hold again, we'll know more tomorrow going into this week. We can see this easy move 96, then it's going to be 98, and above 98 we should see 100. That'll be the resistance we see there, but this should all boost SPY up, should boost QQQ up, it should boost DIA, IWM on these smaller cap, mid cap stocks. Everything should move. Even if we're overextended a bit, I think we see SPY, Dow, Russell. I think we all see new supports being made soon. Consolidation, maybe a dip, and then a move higher in the future. So these are my hot sectors for the week. We have cannabis, we have EV. We just looked at tech. Now I'm going to take a look at China sector, and then I'll get into questions for the last 20 minutes that we have of this stream, and we'll go from there. So China stocks that I'm looking at this week are definitely going to be BABA here. BABA, this is a beast. This is one that moves heavy either direction. Tends to move overnight, which is kind of unfortunate, as it's hard to play these for swings, as you never know what news is going to be coming out of China that could affect this. Overall, we're seeing somewhat of a morphed inverted head and shoulders here. Overall, we're holding support at 252 nicely after that move up. Now we're seeing resistance at 274, 272 area. Now we're back in the demand zone, okay? So we're back in demand zone. People seem to be loading up. Above this, we can see an easy move back up to 282, and then to 282, we see the gap fill up to 300. So once BABA decides to get some volume, this will be great for China stocks. I think BABA can easily see this get there this week if it has good news. If it doesn't have bad news, that's going to be the best thing. If it has bad news, then hold on to your hats, because who knows what way this can go and how fast it can go. So that's what I see for BABA. It's in demand zone, need to be loading for that move up to that 280 level here very soon, in my opinion. What chart overlay am I using showing the support? That is a paid one that I pay for. I'm not allowed to promote that. Overall, it does just involve Bollinger Bands. If you want a free one, take a look at MRC on TradingView. I will put it in the chat. That does give a good overview of kind of like what I'm looking at, and it's a good free indicator to use. Next up, we're going to use JD here. JD, this is another beast, right? I think we can see JD at mid 150s by the end of 2021, even before then, honestly. We're just going to remove our drawings and go from there. So JD is another one that loves to cup, dip, and rip strategy. It's a beautiful one to trade on breakouts just because of this. So as we can see, back end of January to beginning of February here, we had a nice cup. We had a handle form. Handle broke out. Now we're focused on this area, this break over 100. This is a mental break for JD that it needs to get through. Once it gets through 100, I think we can easily see 107, 108, maybe even 110 before it decides to come down. Earnings are going to be beginning of March, so that's another thing to keep in mind. We are getting rejected right at that $100 level, which is fair. 100 is a big mental area to get over it. Overall, JD is going to be one just keep an eye on. Be careful of the intraday moves, just because it can tend to kill your theta contracts if you're trading options on it, just because some days it moves heavy, as we can see here. Other days it consolidates heavy. But what I'm thinking we're going to see here is a replica here. So we have this move up, consolidate, break, and then it came back down. We have a move up, consolidate. I think we see a break and then a move back down. So hopefully that comes to fruition with JD, and we can get on some contracts early tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday. Finally, we're going to take a look at BIDU. This will be our last China stock, and then I'll get into some questions here. So BIDU is looking great as well. This one, massive moves back from end of January. Didn't even seem to have one red day in there at all. It just managed to go from 230s to 320s, almost $100 move here. Hold on, guys. Chart changed on me. Almost $100 move there in a couple of weeks, which is insane to see. But this is another flagpole type breakout that we have. We have our flagpole here, and then we will put in our triangle as the actual flag itself. So what we see is this break. Now we're breaking out over. It needs to get over this 320 is where you'd like to see it. Right now it's currently resting at 315, which is good support to maintain. But if it can break out over 320, that's where you would like to see it the most. Break over 320, we set all-time highs again, and it's just up from there. So hopefully that's what we see. Could play some contracts. We do have earnings coming up on the 17th, so that is Wednesday. So just keep all that in mind before you just go and jump in. So this is what we have as far as a market analysis for this week. I looked at tech, I looked at cannabis, I looked at China stocks, and then I also looked at EVs. Drop some things you'd like me to look at here for this week. I'm taking some requests now. We'll get into this for the next 15-20 minutes, and then we will end the stream. So let's take a look at some RTX here. Perfect. RTX is looking good. Again, we kind of have a flagpole breakout type pattern here. Flagpole pattern is usually a strong one, so we have our pole, then we're going to form our flag just like we saw on BIDU. Just needs to break out over this, right? Once it breaks out over this, it did seem to hold. It needs to break out and hold over, preferably 73 to make a push back up towards 74. Above 74, you can see 75. And then I think we can see possibly all-time highs above 75. So above 75, I do think that this stock has hit major ones at like 90 before COVID hit. So RTX is looking good. They have earnings. They don't have earnings until May. They already got their earnings out of the way. They didn't do so well on them, but they did. It's hard to say, but hopefully this one can recover here and then get back over 75 to make that move to 80 plus on RTX. Let's take a look at Novin. We'll take a look here and go from there. Novin making good moves up. This is a penny stock. I don't really trade these. Remember, I'm an options trader, but I will give an analysis here. It's in an upward channel. It needs to hold this area. Otherwise, you can see it dip back down to the $2 level. Let's see here. Let's take a look at BOXL. I'm not sure what BOXL is. BOXL Corporation. Another penny stock. Again, it needs to hold specific levels that we're at here. So as we can see, we've had resistance at this point. Now we're somewhat holding. It is overextended. If it does not hold the $3 level, you can see it push back down to the 270 on BOXL. STPK. Star Peak Energy. Let's take a look. Looking good, right? This one's looking nice. We got an inverted head and shoulders pattern. I will draw this one out. So what we have here, we got our shoulder, we got our head, we got our other shoulder. Now we're making a move up. What I see is coming back down and then pushing up higher. So as we can see, this one got great volume. Not sure what happened here. On why it got good volume on this day, but overall it made a great move. It made 246 to 252, setting new highs. This one can easily push higher, especially if it gets volume. So good inverted head and shoulders pattern that we have going on here on STPK. LKCO. This is another penny stock looking straight up. It can come back down. It needs to hold probably over 150 is where you're going to see that 150, 140 area. Below 140, you will see this move back down to that 110 level. So just keep those levels in mind. INPX. Let's see this. INPX, same type of thing here. Penny stock moved up high to 290, came back down. Probably did somewhat of a 78% retracement. Now it's at support at the 195 $2 level. It needs to hold here to continue to move higher. HCMC, let's take a look. I'm not sure what this one is, so I'm not gonna do that one. CPSH. This one's looking great. Okay, so this is another breakout type play here that we had. We had our flagpole move up. Now we're gonna go into our drawings here. Put our triangle in, broke over resistance. Now we're starting to create higher highs here. Let's see this one hold, right? On the hourly, this one looks great for a move. As we can see, broke out, maintained support. Now we're holding again. I'd like to see this over 26 to make a push to 29. The high is 30, so we do know that that is going to be resistance there. You never know. This one can easily move, and then if it moves, watch out for it, right? On good volume, this one seems to move pretty heavy. CLOV, let's take a look there. Haven't looked at this one in a while. We'll take a look. So CLOV got a nice spike, came back down, making support. Looking like this is demand zone, guys, right? So demand zone is classified to me when you get this heavy consolidation of no pattern movement at all. Overall here, let's just put in our rectangle so you guys can see this demand zone. This is demand. Supply was up here. This is where people were selling at. So this is where all the supply sits. So we are going to have these boxes. I'm guessing the next move is going to be somewhere into this area. And then who knows where it could go. It could hop back down, or it could break out up once we get closer to earnings. Who knows on Clove though? This will be an interesting mover. It is a SPAC, so I think long term this SPAC will be great to have. Overall, I think we're going to be fine here on Clove. AMZN, let's take a look. Love taking a look at Amazon. This one's a beast. I do think they need to do a split though. That's just my 2 cents on it. It would make it cheaper for everyone to buy. I think you'd get a little bit better of movement on it. On this daily chart here, Amazon has been in this demand zone since looking like July, right? So we've just kind of been here, kind of looking like NVIDIA, right? If we take a look back at the NVIDIA chart, we can scroll back through. Same thing. We had a spike up, spike down, consolidate, then we see a breakout. I think Amazon can easily hold this 3,200 level and then push out over 35. Above 35, sky's the limit. You could see 38 or 4. That would be insane to see, but if it does that, that would be crazy. Let's take a look at CAN. I'm not sure what CAN is. I don't think that's the right one. Here we go. So this is an interesting stock here. Major volume move up on the daily. Let's take a look at the 15 minutes, looking beautiful. Overall, we are seeing a massive move up. We're into this wedge type pattern here, flag pull, however you'd like to see it. Overall, I mean, this one, once it breaks out over what, 13.5, you can see it easily break that and move higher. This one's been on a rampant, so don't be shy if it does decide to move back down just because of the massive move that it's made already, but this one can continue to move again. ETM. Let's take a look at ETM. This is another penny stock, but overall on the 15, it's looking like it's consolidating. It has these spikes. You can play the dip and rip strategy here too, right? So we're getting real tight here on this wedge. Real tight. What it does is it comes up, hits resistance, goes back down, touches support. This either needs to break over 6. If it breaks over 6, you see a nice move up, preferably to 6.5 before it gets rejected back down. So that's what we have for ETM. Let's see. Thoughts on Bitcoin? Hey, that's a great one to have here. We don't ever take a look at Bitcoin. This is definitely Franklin's area. Of course, Franklin is the crypto wizard, as we like to call him. It did get rejected at 49,703 area is what it seems to be, which, you know, that makes sense. 49,714 is where we got the high. So that makes sense. We are in the demand zone, right? So we're in this zone here. It did dip below. Here on this 15. It is holding. What you do like to see from Bitcoin, though, is that it is creating higher lows here, okay? So if it can hold this here, I still think we see 50K either this week or next week before it comes back down. I think Bitcoin's way too strong to not go up higher. With that, you'll see Mara and Riot both move. Those are both really valued right now. Bitcoin is down 1.36%. So hopefully that decides to move here soon. How do you get the MRC overlay? Send me a message in Discord and I'll get to that after this stream, buddy. NSPR, ZYNE. We'll take a look at ZYNE. This is definitely Dime's play. We looked at this on our Saturday stream. For everyone who does not know, I do stream on Saturdays here at around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to tune into those. Zine. This one made a nice move up, came back down. This is in demand zone. We do have the demand here right down in this area. I think we see a move back up to at least 10 in the future. This is a long swing for anybody who's in it. Zine is going to be nutty. Zine's going to be interesting. I have full faith in it. BBY, let's take a look at it. Best Buy. Let's go take a look here. Yeah, Best Buy is an interesting one that we have. This 15-minute is choppy. What'd you say? Has resistance at that 124 mark. I'm not seeing too much resistance. I do see it on this fib level. Let's take a look at this on the daily and go from there. We're just going to scroll that back down and take a look at this. So you can see here, right, guys, that BBBY or BBY is Best Buy. We are going to put some fib levels in. This will give us a good idea from COVID lows to the highs that we have at about 124. That is going to be resistance, right? So we tapped 124 about 3 times, came back down, did somewhat of a cup and handle. Now we're moving back up. 124 is going to be resistance. It has earnings. Who knows what Best Buy is going to do, right? So earnings could easily push this up, or it could push it back down again. Overall, I don't know how it's going to be. I just know that when you get these movers like this before earnings, they can be riskier to play. But 124 is resistance. You can see resistance, though, really between 120 and 124. That's just where we're going to hit that supply area. We have great volume coming into this. Maybe we can get a volume spike this week. Let's take UWMC dying volume. UWMC. Let's take a look here. I am holding this one. Ooh, man, I chart this one way too often. As we can see here, this daily chart looking a little rough, but we also saw this with Fisker in the beginning, right? So once we break out of this downward consolidation, once it breaks over, $10, we will be fine. We will see a move up. UWMC had, pretty decent earnings. They surprised by almost 100%. They are holding this middle band here. This is where it got resist or support before. UWMC, it's a SPAC, right? You got to be ready to buy the dips on SPACs. They are special acquisition for a reason. So I think $9 is going to be a good area. May dip down to 8. Who knows? Let's see here. What do you think about Sundial? Okay, I'll take a look at Sundial just because it is cannabis, and then I'm going to move on from the penny stocks. So Sundial here on the 15. This one kind of got beat down by Kramer a bit, which that's fine. That's just what happens in these type of plays that we have. It's holding this Fibonacci level right at that $2 area. I think it's the same thing with KERN, ACB, TLRY. I think Sundial can make that move again back up this year. It's probably going to be a long hold for Sundial, but overall, I think that this is a long-term company to have. Let's see here. We already looked at NEO. We're going to take a look at, let's see, AGTC. Applied Genetic Tech. Interesting one here. Another penny stock. Made good moves up. Overall, it needs to break out of this here just like any other play. It needs to break out over 660, 650 area to see that move back up to 780s. Then we see that move. I will take a look at a couple more here, and then we're going to end it. So we're going to take a look at MOTV, and then we'll pick up one more. Oh, this is a choppy one. It seems to be 15-minute. I mean, this one made serious moves up from $2 back here, and looks like it just re-IPO'd or something. I'm not too sure. It's a real choppy one. Overall, you can't really chart this. It is getting rejected at about 1090, 1080. It's holding support here at 1070, so it needs to break either direction. Let's see. Let's take a look at DraftKings Space, and then we're done. DKNG. Here's another one. This one on the 15-minute looks a little rough, but we need to zoom this out on the 4-hourly, and you guys will see it's looking pretty decent. So overall, we kind of have an inverted cup and handle, but it is holding this support. It can move back down a bit more if it needed to. Overall, holding support very well. It has earnings coming up end of February. This will be a deciding factor. We can either see this push back up over 65, or we can see it push back down. Penn beat its earnings last time and moved up, so that's what I think we're going to see from DraftKings. Now we're going to do Space, and then we're going to call it quits today, guys. Space, this is another one that I love to draw on here. So we're in the demand zone again, okay? Demand zone is where we consolidate at. Supply zone is where we dip back from. So Space is in the consolidation area, the demand area. It didn't have good flight test news. It had to reschedule something back on Friday. So overall, it did dip a little bit. Holding support, I have Space in my long term, but this is a fun one to play for options, especially when it gets volume. So be watching that, especially for news coming up. Overall, holding a trend here. Breakout over 60, we can set all-time highs. It needs to hold the 51 support. Otherwise, we see 48. Below 48, we see 47. And then 42. So that is what we got. Oh man, he got Space at 18. Beautiful. Overall, this was a great stream, guys. We do have the market overview. We will go back to the SPY mini futures here before we end it. Looks like SPY is setting some newer highs here on the future side of things, which is great to see. Right? So we drew this line in here at the beginning. This is what you love to see here. Breakout over resistance, came back down, touching support. Now let's see if we can push higher. Push higher, that is what we love to use. What is the best way to use the VIP watch list? The best way is to go take a look, go do some charting, go do your own DD technical analysis, go do some good things for yourself on it, and then make your decision on how you want to trade. Overall, we got through a good market overview, got in some penny stocks, got in some large caps, gave you the sectors that I think are going to be hot this week. I will try to do this every Sunday for an hour, Saturdays and Sunday streams, so be ready for those. This will be posted on our Twitter, or not Twitter, on our YouTube, so go make sure to take a look at that. Overall, guys, have a great Monday evening. We do have a short week in the market, but we will see you guys tomorrow morning. Open the damn market. That is right. Peace out, guys.